like I said to open the show, condolences to his family and the Warriors organization for dealing with that. Um, I know we're gonna get into the whole trade situation when Mike comes in. Um, but the Warriors getting Draymond Green back didn't look too good, and I guess apparently they want us to, to give it to Steph. Like that's what Eddie and that's what Anthony wants us to give it to Steph because if we're holding him to a high regard as far as being one of the best players, we should hold him to that same standard and give him the flag the same way we give LeBron flag. What are your thoughts on that, real quick?
Let's just be honest. Anytime we talk about particular superstars, the fans normally want them to get their flag. There's always going to be that group that's going to want you to say, hey, and we need you to pay attention to this guy the same way you pay attention to that guy. Case in point, LeBron. If we're using those parameters, I think that's fair, man, because it's the same energy at times that's brought to Kawhi. It was the same energy brought to Paul George when he started calling himself Playoff P. You got to start holding people. Yo, Mike.
Yo, Ziggy.
There's a lot of situations that's happening over there in Golden State right now where there talks about people kind of being a little disgruntled and kind of, saying certain things and maybe possibly wanting out. I'm lying. I added that last part. I ain't hearing about nobody wanting out, but they did say that people were disgruntled. So I don't know, man. I do think we do need to start taking a look at Steph Curry. I mean, it seems like when the light is shining bright on you in certain situations, you kind of falter. And right now you're faltering a little bit. But we can't solely put it on Steph because actually I don't know, man. I don't know. We
It's
might
a fair argument. I don't know, Mike. Can you try to be objective in this conversation real quick? So part of the part,
Jackson
like,
Mike to be objective about Steph and the Warriors.
um, our favorite, person who loves our content, Eddie. Says we need to just like we like to put Steph in the conversation of being one of the greatest. We have to hold them accountable for the Warriors and their lackluster play. So before we get into your trade, I was just chatting up with Zig about, should we the same way any other player gets flack when they're playing bad, like we give it to LeBron, like Zig said, we give it to Kawhi. Back in our era, we used to give it to all the players when they're not playing well or their teams are not playing well. Are we gonna hold Steph to that same regard and that same kind of flack? Like, should we not be holding him accountable just like we do? Because we praise him when the Warriors are doing great. Like Wardell is great, but now that the ship is sinking, are we not going to hold him accountable for being captain and give him flack, or does he get a pass?
Or do we praise him for the Warriors winning? Do we? Now, so you have to, those two have to be contextualized. You have to take those together. So do we actually praise him in the level that he should for what he's done for that franchise? And
We
if so,
we do,
then
yeah, because there was a part of the conversation that we kind of put Steph in that GOAT conversation. Remember, there was a little bit there.
we
We
did
I
just we did a week ago, but before then, did he actually get the acclaim that he deserved, or what? Or were some of the critics, oh well, KD was there. Oh well, he always has Clay and Draymond. Oh well, did he? So you got to start there before you shift to today and say, well, how much criticism does he get? Now, in general, of course, you're the best player on the team. Your team stinks. You get criticism. But the question is how much? And how much will depend on the first context. How much praise did you give him? Did you say it was just the system, or he just had help, or did you give him the full credit for it? And then if you did, then guess what? You're going to have a
Well,
conversation.
we are being accused of giving him full credit, so we should be giving him full blame. That's what the standard is. Is it comes down
Is that
to
the standard?
the standard is because we give LeBron so much flack when his teams are bad. We
Here we
have to
go again
be.
with we. You and this we. We talked about this. There is no we. Stop saying we. Who is
Okay,
we? Who are
this
these
this
people?
show this platform we have been accused. Eddie and Mike have been accused of that we weren't going to talk about Steph's lackluster play. They love to do this, and this stems back to when we shitted on LeBron for when he did the when he passed Kareem and we didn't do. Remember that whole scenario when we didn't give LeBron credit for when he did great. They still hold us to that standard of like,
They
Oh,
gotta let that. They got I almost cursed. They gotta let that
let
crap
that go,
go.
right?
They gotta
But
let it
they
go,
say that,
bro.
but again, according to Eddie, according to Anthony, we always get on LeBron for when LeBron plays bad, but we don't do the same thing for Steph Curry.
We all know that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. So now I'm gonna use Carl's we. Everyone knows he is criticized. He is highly scrutinized and criticized. We've all seen it happen. So we all know that when he won, it was, but Andre Iguodala had to get Finals
You
MVP,
read my
and
mind.
LeBron was actually better.
Mhm.
That's stupid. The person on the losing team was better than the person on the winning team. We hadn't heard that since Jerry West. All of a sudden, that was true. When he won with KD, it's because he got KD and no one else. And Steph was averaging 30, but oh well, KD was the finals MVP. So where is this? Oh, we just overly celebrated him and he had no criticism. That we all know that's a lie. That's why I said you have to begin with the first aspect of that second question. The first aspect is how much did you praise him when he was doing well? People like Anthony did not praise him. People like, I don't know what Eddie was doing there, but Ant did not praise him. It was those excuses that we gave before. He didn't, all he does is shoot jump shots. So nobody gave him the full credit. People like that should not be asking us how much we can criticize them. They criticize him. They've been doing it Steph's whole career. So they've done a good job criticizing him at every turn, even when he succeeds. It's a yeah, but. So no, I don't want to hear nothing from people like that.
Yeah. Zig, you agree with that?
Listen, man, you know me, I don't get into too much of that Stephen Curry, LeBron conversation, man. At the end of the day, you win, you win, you lose. It's debate. It's gonna happen. I can't get back and forth with Anthony and Eddie just because they tight that we ain't, call them up on the celebration and whatnot, man.
All right. Well, that being said, Mike, you are the talk of the day. We did wish our condolences to the Warriors assistant coach who just passed away. I don't know if you saw one of the
Yeah,
assistant coaches, so we sent our condolences out to the
sad.
family. Really sad on that. But the Pacers, they sent Bruce Brown, Jordan Nora, and 3 first-round picks to Toronto for Pascal Siakam.
No, they sent Skittles and some Capri Suns over there
Yep.
to get
Jolly Ranchers, envelopes.
Siakam.
Jolly Ranchers,
Jolly
envelopes.
Ranchers, the cherry flavor too.
Yep, cherry flavor. I like blue
so
raspberry.
So the question is again, now where do we move? Because last week we literally were talking about where we put in the Pacers as far as the third or the fourth best team, because we clearly got Boston, Milwaukee, and then the rest of the fray, right? So now where do they kind of surpass Philly? Do they surpass the Knicks? Where do we kind of put the Pacers? And I think the trade went down because Indiana believes they could sign Pascal to a long-term deal
You be
because he's up. He
fiending,
has a
can
free
they
agent.
pass the Knicks?
Say it again.
You be fiending, can they pass?
No, I was listing teams. I wasn't saying that to be spiteful. Trust me. I promise. I haven't been spiteful towards your team in years. I
We
don't
in
care.
seventh place. They already in front of us.
But Mike, first of all, what was your impressions of the trade? Did you like it? And also, where does this put your team now on paper?
I love it. And this is the first thing I thought when I saw it, when you said it to me, I said, this now points us in the direction for a championship. And I feel
So I
that way.
broke the news to you?
Yeah.
I feel honored. Great.
Yeah. Most of the time you do, bro.
Nice.
Most of the time you give me the news before anyone else does.
Nice,
So
nice.
that was the feeling. I haven't had that feeling since
Let me guess. 05. Maybe?
05. I definitely felt that, and stupid Pistons and the Malice in the Palace. That was my year. Oh, no, 05, I definitely felt it, but Ben Wallace hurt J.O. in the playoffs, and he messed up his knee, and then we lost to them in 6. But the next year, I thought we could have won it too. But even more recently, again, what was that? 2011. 2011, when the first time we played the Heatles in the first round, we went, Eastern Conference semis, we went game 7. I thought we could have beat them. I actually thought that. I believed it. Paul George was young at the time, but I thought we matched up really well with them. D-Wade went crazy the last 3 games. That ended. So it's probably since then, but really the '05 team where I feel like we now have the ingredients to build a championship team. I think that was the piece that we needed. And now, if Rick Carlisle would stop being dumb and start Ben Mathurin, our cousin, start him and just let him mature, let him make mistakes. That's what young people do. Let him make mistakes. I think we have the nucleus for a championship team in the next 2 or 3 years because I think Tyrese is that kind of superstar. I do think he's one of those generational type of players. And so, to answer your question directly, I think we're third.
Ziggs, what are your thoughts after the trade? You seem to have liked it, and you said it works.
Oh man, listen, I kind of found out a little bit late. I always assumed that it's always fake news until I go to Twitter and see it's really real. So when I saw it went down, the first thing I thought was, yo, this is gonna be like a fun time for Pascal. Like the Indiana Pacers, first of all, they're a fun team to watch, and they are wide open with their game. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton running up and down, that's gonna open up the lane for Pascal Siakam to work the middle. He got a big man that's not gonna clog his paint, and Miles Turner who could get out on the perimeter. Like it's just gonna be mad space for him. He's gonna have a lot of opportunities. Um, I wonder though, what are they going to do about their defense? Because if I'm not mistaken, the Pacers, they're not particularly the best defensively. Pascal Siakam is a step in that right direction. But other than that, I wouldn't think to say Mike is too far-fetched in what he's saying because those were the two pieces, especially Mike, that I thought of. I thought of y'all cousin, what's his name? What's his last name? Maturin? Mathurin, yeah. I thought about him, and I thought about Miles Turner, who, Mike, I've asked you plenty of times, when is he going to turn into that perennial defender? You know what I mean? Because there'd be nights where he seemed like he got, and there's some nights where it's like, come on, bro, yeah, you could do a little bit more than that. But I think it's a solid trade. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing. Third for right now, it's possible, but the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe they're on a 5-game winning streak without Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. So it's only a matter of time we get to see when they come back. We still got a lot of basketball to play, but this is a great move for the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, if you really look at it, like you said, Cleveland is skyrocketed fourth. They won 5 in a row. Miami is still in the thick of things, and we never forget about them because we know what they're capable of at any given
Carl,
point.
just to touch on what Zig was saying defensively. So we've actually gotten better over the last month defensively, not Tyrese withstanding, because Rick Carlisle made a concerted effort to change the lineup. So he changed the starting lineup, went bigger, put more defenders in. Pascal helps that immediately. He helps the defense. Now, the question is going to be, does Rick Carlisle start Aaron Nesbitt? Carl, thank you again. Or does he start Benedict Mathurin? That's going to be the conversation, because it's more defense and veteran, if you could call a third-year player like Aaron Nesbitt, well, 4 years, a veteran.
Nesmith,
but
yeah. Great player too. I'm surprised we gave him that. He's a great player.
Nah, he's good, and he fits our offense perfectly, but he's good defensively. So does Rick Carlisle focus on that? But I do think we're getting better defensively, and you're starting to see, because again, we all know young players, if you're just telling them run all day and score, they're gonna give up on defense because they're just trying to score as many points. So I do think Pascal immediately helps offensively and defensively. So it's almost like a perfect trade. And shouts out to Kevin Pritchard. This is what we do. And to be honest, a championship is coming in my future. It has to. The only thing that the Pacers have missed in my whole time, and even including Reggie, we haven't had that true transcendent superstar. We haven't had it. Everything else we've had. Organizationally, we have always made the right trades, more or less, always made those right decisions. The only thing missing was what I believe Tyrese is. So now that we have
But let me ask this, though. Danny Granger and Paul George didn't start off like Tyrese did?
Hell no. Are you crazy?
No, I'm just asking.
Not even close.
Okay.
Not even close.
Damn, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying.
No,
I thought Paul George was
those two guys you just named. Danny Granger was, I think, the 15th or 18th pick from New Mexico. Nobody knew who he was, and he was a perfect pacer type of player, which is the counted out, nobody knows anything about, and rises and shines. Paul George out of Fresno State was the exact same thing. Nobody knew who he was. He was a lottery pick, sure, but nobody knew who he was, and nobody expected him to be a superstar. And in all actuality, we've looked at the totality of Paul George's career. He never was that guy. Paul George is more suited as a two. His best career year was behind Russell Westbrook as the second best guy. That's when he got MVP votes. So he never was that guy. Danny Granger was good, but knees failed, did him in. J.O. was the closest that we've had to this transcended knees with him. But Tyrese, from the moment
and the malice messed up Jo too, though. The malice definitely messed up Jo's career.
But you see Zig talked about it last week when we talked about Tyrese. People knew what he had the potential to be. And we saw it the moment we got him. When we got him, you saw. I remember watching games when the team last year was trash, but I remember watching him play and seeing how he passed. He has this elite level passing. This year, he added the scoring. No, he is a superstar talent, and we'll see if he becomes that player. So no one else had. Paul George did not have what this guy has.
Ziggy, to add to that, because you were like, hell no.
Yo, to be honest though, when he came over to Indiana and you saw him start to play a little bit, and I like the numbers, I pay attention to the numbers. Yo, he came in off rip giving you 9, 10 assists a game, and as the season progressed, he was giving you 15, 14, 17 assists at points during the game. It was almost like, remember when we was younger watching basketball, the numbers that Jason Kidd and Steve Nash used to put up? It was like reminiscent of that. So Paul George wasn't doing that.
No.
Danny Granger wasn't doing that. And then for him to be winning the next year so quickly like this, nah, he's something completely different. Already he's on a bigger stage than Reggie Miller, Paul George, and Danny Granger coming in, not career wise. He still has a lot to go.
The impact, Carl, that's the biggest thing. The impact is what Zig is talking about.
Yeah.
Reggie's impact wasn't as felt and also we already had veterans around him. Byron Scott, we had good pieces. Chuck Persons, we had good pieces around him. Same thing with J.O. We had veterans around him. He had some time to learn from Rasheed. Paul George, Danny Granger, we were not actually a good team when Danny Granger made his one All-Star team. We were under 500. It was the same year that Devin Harris made it on the West. So,
damn.
Paul George benefited from all the veterans. George Hill, David West, Roy Hibbert was good at one point, Carl. At least he was good against Miami, but nobody else.
Embarrassment to Georgetown. My God.
Yeah. So notice all of these people were in situations where they were able to hide and develop, whereas Tyrese got thrown in kind of like Victor Oladipo. How can I skip my man Vic? Vic put some work in for us, but like Vic, Tyrese was brought here and they said here, but not like Vic, because Vic had Sabonis with him. So it was a tandem. Tyrese was brought here and they said, here, this is your franchise. Take it over. Paul George inherited it. Danny Granger inherited it. J.O. inherited it. This guy, they said, here, take the franchise. It's yours. And within 1 year of a full season, we're already arguably the third best team in the East. The impact is different.
Well, that being said, it feels like you guys are going to be in the logjam in the East, where it's going to come down to, I guess, matchups and playoff and who you get, because from Philly down, it's looking like, all right, you got Philly, Cleveland, Miami, Indiana, New York. You guys are in that mix of teams that are just like any one of those teams could jump up next, right? So
you win 3, you could go anywhere.
It can go anywhere, right? But then you also have like the trade deadline too. So Pascal was kind of like the hot commodity that everyone kind of wanted. Pacers got him. Is there any other hot commodity out there that's kind of like on anybody's eye as the trade deadline approaches? And now teams are like, oh snap, Indy got Pascal. Now what are we gonna do? Because
DeJounte
clearly,
Murray.
yeah. So I think he was on the top of it because again, Philly was there were rumors that he was gonna head to Philly or he was gonna go to Golden State. But now teams are kind of like, I guess let's start in the Eastern Conference. I guess you said DeJounte Murray is one of those players that could get you to the next to be the contender. You saying, Zig?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I see him more like a not even top two, maybe the third best guy. Definitely a solid point guard, but the third best guy on your team. It ain't working out there in Atlanta. And a lot of people, got real hype when they made that trade when Atlanta sent it's Atlanta's fault that, Utah sent all them, I mean that Utah sent all them damn picks. I mean Minnesota sent all them damn picks over there.
You know,
It's
it's crazy.
Atlanta's
I
fault.
forgot about Atlanta for a
Yeah,
second,
because
man.
Atlanta sent the 3 draft picks to get DeJounte Murray first. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And now they're saying they want back 3 first round picks, to send DeJounte Murray out. So there's been talks about him, like you said, going to those particular franchises, but he also talked about reuniting with Pop. So that'd be a crazy situation for him to head back there. That's one particular name that, we keep hearing. Of course, there's Zach LaVine as well. But I'm gonna let Mike cook before I say
Yeah.
something else.
Mike, so like I said, I guess with the trade deadline approaching, is there, aside from the players that Ziggy said, that a team, I guess, in the Eastern Conference that could, propel them, over the Pacers at this point? Because at first, when the Knicks got Obi last week, we said, oh, the Knicks were in it. There was a trade. Now this week is your team. Is there another trade that could be made that could potentially get a team in that mix too?
Um, I mean, when you talk about the teams that are traditionally considered the two under the Celtics, because the Celtics are clearly the best team in the East. So you think about the Bucks and Philly, you would have to think about what do they need. So to me, the only of the two that actually needs something is the Bucks. I think the Bucks need a solid perimeter defender. They don't have one. And if we're relying on Jay Crowder to just resurrect himself, I think that's asking too much. They need a solid defender. So for that can be a small move. And if you listen to Woj today, he's saying nobody's really going to make any big moves. So if nobody's going to really make any big major moves, then that's who I'm saying should probably make him. Where did Carl go? But Zig, you hold it down. You know how we
I
do.
think he's coming back. Mike, what you think? What you think about the Bucks? I'm just spitballing here. I know it's probably not a possibility, but what if the Bucks went after Dort in OKC?
See, that would be depending on who they gave up. And I don't, just as an aside, I don't think OKC would do it. I
Yeah.
think their nucleus is so solid that right now, anyone they get back is going to be old. They're building this young core. So anybody they get back from the Bucks is somebody old. But if they were able to get him, that's the type of defender that cannot, that's a 3-and-D guy. That's the type of defender you can get. Now, I don't think he helps because he's small. Everybody in the East has a goal. How can you stop Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Who are you going to get to guard the two of them? We now have someone that can. You guys have someone that can. The Bucks don't have anyone that can. Philly kind of sort of has someone that can if Robert Covington gets back,
Yeah.
and depending on what Tobias can do.
Right.
But so the Bucks need a bigger wing defender. I don't know who's available, and that's what I'm saying. They don't actually have to make a splash. They can make a small
A
move,
small
and
move.
that's what Woj was saying, is that there are small moves to be made. He doesn't think any big moves are going to get made, but Woj don't know everything. So
Yeah, it's crazy. Some of my Celtics fans are thinking that we need a move. We need something. We need something
Y'all don't
there you
need
off the
to
go.
do
bench.
anything. Y'all don't
That's
need
what
to
I
do
said. But
Nothing.
somebody says that we need something off the. We
You
need another
don't
big
need
off
that.
the bench.
Yo, this
Nothing.
is like, honestly, not to say it's yours to lose because anything can happen, but like this could be y'all's. Like for real, y'all have every
Everything.
aspect of the
And
game
it's crazy.
on lock.
We're
Everything.
basically resting Porzingis. Like he plays like every other game
Well,
too.
we been knew that the goal for him was to give us the length on defense and
That's it.
we give it to us pause and during the playoff time. That's when we really gonna need you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he's been healthy
I
so
mean, like I
far.
said, I've been real quiet on it. I'm like, yo, please, because everything seems to be clicking and looks right, and I just don't want to get ahead of myself like I always do, and like
Nah, you
second
should,
guess it.
bro.
Now I'm
This
just
is
like, yo, I'm
you
like, yo,
hit.
this because
Go
even
ahead.
KG was talking about it today. He was just like, Jalen and Jason are moving different. They look more hungrier. They look more like aggressive. And I'm like, they have to. Like, we're undefeated at home. Like it's there. Like, we have perimeter defenders. Al, even for his older age, looks good.
No,
Even
it's
the
every
bench players.
if you got two of the biggest historically Celtics haters, Ziggy more than me. I just hate them because of those 2 little stupid years with Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker. And shouts out
I
to
love
Al
those years.
Harrington.
That's the
But
reason I became a fan of them. It's because of those
this is
years, baby. Antoine with his
stupid,
little shimmy. Yeah, that's the
stupid
reason I
shimmy. Shouts out to Al Harrington.
Yo,
But
son, yeah, I'll never forget that clip, yo. Yo, bro,
stupid,
that clip,
man.
Paul Pierce, I love that clip. Paul Pierce
But
talking trash. Yeah.
But if both of us see Zig saying it here, I've been texting you this for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You will lose because your superstar just doesn't want to win. But it is like Zig said, it is pretty much yours to lose. Like
even against Denver
there.
too?
Huh?
Even against Denver too, you think?
Even against Denver, because Denver has holes. Denver has holes that we saw some of it last night.
Mike, I was just about to say, because we ain't talk about that yet.
We saw it last night. They got holes. They're not put it this way. Denver's not a lock to get out of the West. Let's just say that.
Really?
I don't know who can beat them because
the only other team you said were the Clippers last week. We said that. We said that there was.
They got a chance. Listen, Carl, I know you didn't want me to say it. Did you see Phoenix last night?
Carl, they were down 18 with like 8 minutes left to play.
They showed Frank,
they were last
my
night.
man Frank found something. He found something.
You're basing it off that one game, is what you say?
I'm just telling you, Frank found. We can talk about it if you want. I'm just telling you, Frank found something.
All right. Well, okay. Well, let's just wrap up as far as the trades are concerned in the Eastern Conference. There's nothing else as far as teams because clearly now we got the Pacers in that spot. Go ahead.
About trades, I don't think Philly needs to do anything. And this is what Stan Van said last night. If you watch the game, they have everything. What Philly needs to do is their superstar has to be a superstar. That's the difference. Philly has enough pieces. He has to take them over. Embiid has to take them over the top. That's what it's going to come down to. They don't need to make a trade right now because unless it is Zach LaVine, no, they don't need to make a trade.
Well,
we don't hold him
in
accountable.
that situation, we've seen him come up. So, what would make it different for this? Like he'd have to take him over the hump against Boston or Milwaukee.
Yes.
What makes it different? Like what's going to make Embiid do that though? It's
if this player that we're seeing play as dominant as he is, if he plays that way in the playoffs, he can. Because there's nobody in the league that can stop him. No one. And everybody that watches him knows that. He cannot be stopped. That is a big man. We've never seen a big like that, ever. So he cannot be stopped. If he plays like that in the postseason, he can be the difference.
Yo, he had 3 times as many free throws as Joker. And the playoffs is at a slower pace where he could be getting hit all day. He has the opportunity to probably go through there and average. He averaged 40 for the month of December. So why can't he average 40 in the playoffs?
Because the Celtics, they found Al Horford annoys the shit out of him. That's just not, excuse my language.
See, but that should not be allowed. That's the point.
But Al Horford, for some reason, gets in his head. And you literally see it on the court. The way Al defends him is like, I don't know if it's because Al played with him for those couple of years and he knows him, but like Al always defends Embiid like it's nothing. And they find a way to.
Did y'all play this year?
Say again?
Did y'all play this year already?
I think we did. Did we go play them opening season? The opening game?
That don't count.
That won't count. Okay, but I think aside from that, yeah.
But this is the thing. But that's my point, Carl. If the reason, the hypothetical, they played the Celtics in the second round. If the reason they lose is because he got stopped by Al Horford, then they lost because of him, not because they didn't have Damian Lillard or Zach LaVine. If Al Horford stops him from averaging 40, that's why they lost, because nobody can guard him. So,
and they got a complete
really
team. Mike, you know they're going to try and use a team excuse. They got a complete team, so you can't even go that route neither.
There's no excuses. You got a 25-point scorer. You got an 18 to 20-point scorer as a third option. They got enough. He got to be the difference. And if he's not, I don't want to hear that team stuff.
It says we played them November 15th, November 8th, day 1, and we beat them on December 1st.
Nah, that's too early. We got to see the next game. The next game is when we really know.
Yeah,
No,
and
no, count.
I guess against the Bucks, they could easily beat the Bucks too because the Bucks are still like a big
Well, you
They
saw
question.
could
what
beat
Dame
any
did
team
the
in the
other
East.
night.
I
So
don't know about easily, but they
I guess moving along to the Western Conference, as we're saying, Phoenix. You saw something in Phoenix, is what you're saying last night.
if anybody watched that game, Frank saw. I ain't see it. Frank saw it. I hope he pay attention. He's a good coach. He's a champion.
I believe they were down 18 with like 8 minutes left in the fourth, and then they ended up
Six.
they were down what?
18 with 6 minutes left.
Yeah, even Kevin Durant said he thought the game. I guess people thought that like they were like minutes away from subbing in, the bench, and then all of a sudden they just went on a tear, and then they
Frank
won the
saw
game.
something, man.
What did he see?
He saw a lineup. He saw a lineup he can use. That lineup that he closed with that pretty much brought them back. Grayson Allen, who would have thought Grayson Allen would be considered good in something? But shouts out to him. He hit 8 threes.
That's so disrespectful, yo. That's so
Yo, Grayson Allen,
disrespectful, bro.
yo, let's
Damn
keep
it.
it real. What do we know him for? We know him for kicking people and stuff. We don't know
We
him
know
for
him for
like,
being one of those annoying role players.
yeah, but we
Yeah,
don't know him for
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
being
yeah.
playing meaningful basketball. They got a lineup of
Mike, that's
Grayson Allen,
disrespectful. Ah.
um, Eric Gordon, um, who else? KD, the big three: KD, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. That lineup is fast and defends. That lineup can rival any closing lineup in the league. Now
That's
that
okay,
and
but
then
my argument is that health.
listen, that's the argument for everyone, Carl. That's
It
the
is, but
argument for
more so for
everyone.
them because of health. More so for
No, we got
them.
to give the hypothetical. We
Okay,
remember
fine.
everyone
You
can
can
be
have it.
hurt. Hypothetically speaking, Carl, Frank found something. He found something. And it was against a good team. It wasn't against a bad team, a crappy team. And mind you, it was against the guy that won Clutch Player of the Year last year. So De'Aaron Fox is known for being clutch. And they walked him down. KD had 15 in the fourth quarter. Another thing that Frank Vogel did was he realized, oh, it's late in a game. I need a basket. Oh, snap. I got a dude that's 7 feet that got guard skills and nobody can guard him. Oh, let's give him the ball. And guess who scored the last 4
I'm
points?
going back to the highlights right now too. I'm looking at the highlights right now just so I could take my notes.
The
Like
last
I
four
said, it looks.
points at the free throw line, KD, because who was guarding him at the end of the game? De'Aaron Fox.
Zig,
Yo,
do
what?
you agree? Did you see something too, or was it just like it's
Nah, I'm
just
not
one of
gonna
those?
lie to you, man. Them. What time that game started? Once it gets to certain times, I don't know, man. I be in my bed, man. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
I
lie.
watched the recap. I watched it today. I didn't
So
watch
then
that
that's
last
that's
night
and
live.
that's
You crazy?
and that's
Right,
what
but
That's
I'm
Zig,
my
what do you
doing.
think of
bedtime,
that
brother.
though? Does Mike have a point
Well, if Mike have a point in terms of what?
in terms of like Frank Vogel saw something and the Suns could be the team to come out the East
Well,
because
I don't know. I don't watch
Mike
the
just
damn
said he
thing.
doesn't believe Denver can come out the East because they
I
I
have
don't
didn't
watch the
say
damn.
that.
That's what you said, bro. Hold on, let me pause this real quick. Right? Did you not just say
My
that you
man
don't
just
believe?
be making up stuff.
Did
I
you not?
said Denver is not guaranteed to come out the West. You
Okay.
translated that to me. Mike said Denver ain't coming out the West. My man be making up stuff, son.
Okay, I'm sorry. I love to misquote. I apologize, right? But Mike said that
Yo,
he
y'all
saw
just be
Mike
making
said
up
that he saw something in
anything.
the Suns. I'm sorry. He said he saw something in the Suns. Do you still do you believe that? Because last week we were talking about them needing a trade to kind of help them, right? Now this
I,
week,
I never subscribed to no talk about the Phoenix Suns needing a trade. I think the Phoenix Suns need to get healthy. I think that was what their problem was. They need to get healthy. It's just like wherever Kevin Durant go, he has the opposite of the Midas touch. Like his teammates just stay getting hurt. But for me, honestly, I need to, plug in and watch a little bit more Phoenix Suns basketball because despite the fact that they have all those players, I think the injuries have deterred me from watching their basketball. You know what I mean? There's so many other teams around the league, especially with this league pass, that we could just jump around and select. So I'm
yeah, I
gonna
got to get on
tune
that
into
too.
what
Yeah,
to what Mike was talking about because that roster does sound good. A lot of people sleep on Eric Gordon. He's been in the league for a minute and he's been serviceable all throughout his entire career. So it's good to hear that he's still, doing his thing. But I just need to see a little bit more from the Phoenix Suns. I think we'll probably see them turn up. Not turn up, but I guess we'll pay more attention to them once the All-Star break concludes.
That's what I was gonna say too. I think a lot like I like to consider basketball twofold, right? So the first half of the season, we're just watching just to see where the teams are and what they look like, and just entertainment. I think it really comes down in the second half of the season when we start seeing, because once the NFL season is over, we know we get the better games too. Like the NBA does a scheduling where they'll give us the better half of the games because there's no more NFL on, right? Like right now, we got a game on Wednesday as the NFL season winds down, right? Wednesday on ABC. So I think the second half of the season we'll really start to see, and maybe that'll give them an opportunity for them to get healthy. But aside from them, the Suns, we also said the Clippers as well too. Are we still in that notion that the Clippers could be the ones to come out of the
Did you
West?
not watch yesterday's game?
I didn't watch yesterday's game.
See,
Oh,
it was Paul. It was another classic case. Not a bad team, but a young team that is finally realizing you still young. That's what it
Oh, you
was.
talking about the
You
Thunder?
still young. You still young. It's cute. All that look good, but you still young.
hey, listen, if I'm saying the Boston Celtics have all the pieces in the East, I think the Clippers have all the pieces in the West, in all honesty.
Agreed.
It would be up to Kawhi and PG to somehow screw it up. And I'm gonna throw James Harden in there too, because he's known for screwing up in the playoffs, for
Mhm.
them to get derailed and get eliminated in the playoffs. They that yesterday's game was a solid game. I wish Andres was here. You know, he would have been going off because Paul George had a hell of a game. I'm talking about the kind of threes where he's walking off before the ball goes in the hoop. I think he
Mhm.
had what, Mike, 38 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, he was going off, and Kawhi had a crappy game. And like Mike said, the youngins, they started to show that they were young. You know what I'm saying? So, the Clippers are doing their thing. I'm just hoping that everybody stays healthy. I don't want nothing to happen to nobody. It just everybody stay healthy so we can see how this all pans out because
It always
it's
comes down
shaping
to,
up
yeah.
for a crazy end.
It is,
No.
but you know what? It's like what Max said. I think last year we kind of had it too. There's so much like
Yeah.
parity in the league. Like it's like every year before the last couple of years, you were kind of like, okay, this team's gonna win it. You kind of knew, right? Like when we had the era of the Warriors or the era of the
And
Heatles,
the
we kind of knew.
Cavaliers and the Miami Heat.
Yeah, we kind of knew, right? But like, just like I said in there's a logjam in the East. The West is the same thing. Aside from the top two, which Mike would always argue and say those teams are going to flounder, right?
I
Denver.
didn't say that.
No, but you always say that. You're like, the bad teams don't know they're bad. You literally
Oh
just
yeah, they
said
don't know
that.
they bad yet.
That's what I
But
meant. You always say
Minnesota, I
that, right?
told you, Minnesota and the Thunder are not bad teams. They're young teams.
The young
They're
teams.
starting to realize, oh, we still young.
Is
Right. No, but
Orlando a bad team?
You said Minnesota's a bad team?
No, I'm asking you, is Orlando a bad team?
Oh, of course, we already knew it. Like the bad teams was
right.
we already knew.
Okay.
Everybody knew Orlando was going to start to trail, and you see what's happening.
Okay. So
Spanked.
when we're talking about a log jam, right? When we're talking about, I guess, real contenders, right? Denver, we clearly have in there. The Clippers, Dallas.
No,
No.
Okay.
no.
The Pelicans, no.
Oh, whoa, whoa. No, I'm
I'm
sorry.
not
It's too
putting
early. You're still young.
Sacramento.
Not this year.
Not this year. No,
So
they got too
Phoenix
many
is still
holes.
so Phoenix is still a contender,
Yeah.
even though
I'm
they.
gonna put a I got for me, I'm gonna put a question mark for Phoenix. I don't know. I don't watch enough of their
That's
ball to
fair.
know.
And then you got the
Just
Utah.
really quick, what Zig said, cause not to cut you off, Carl, but what Zig said, I also was doing the same thing. Because they was all hurt, I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna watch any Suns games.
You get
It
me,
wasn't
Mike.
until they all got help. Like I literally ignore it. Like I wouldn't even record them anymore. I'm like, no, I'm not watching just two of y'all or one of y'all. No, I need all three, or I'm not watching.
Mike, you have
So
League Pass though, right? You got.
yeah, I got League Pass. So
Okay.
I will record the games, go watch the next day like I normally do to try to see the game. And one of them's missing. So I started getting mad. So I'm like, okay, I'm just out recording none of these games. And when y'all all come back, you got to be a TNT game. Y'all all come back. All right, cool. I'll put you back on League Pass. But so they back now because they
Utah
all healthy.
definitely
Other
not.
than that, I was like, no, I'm not
The
watching.
Lakers no. The Lakers no, right?
No.
Are we putting Minnesota now? Keep in mind, I left out Minnesota and OKC. Are we putting them as contenders?
No.
No, we're not.
Oh,
Because
wait. I said it too fast because I want to be a hater. Now let me think. No.
Wait, no to who? Minnesota?
I'm
both.
gonna
I'm
say
saying
no
with
to
the
OKC And like Zig, I'm gonna put a question mark on Minnesota because
Oh,
they have
Minnesota.
a
So are we
guy
saying that because they've never been here and they're young? Is that what we say? They're not contenders because they're
that
the top two
matters.
in the because
That
they're top
matters.
two in the Western Conference and they could be new
I
bloods.
would definitely, if we're going between Minnesota and OKC, I'm giving the edge to Minnesota just because of the experience.
Yep,
Mm.
that matters. It always matters. Like it's a
Experience
7-game
always
series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because again, you think about it, right? OKC, and this is where we talk about the Suns. Say this stays like because we always like to play the if game.
Mhm.
It stays like this now. You get Sacramento and Phoenix in the play-in. I'm going Phoenix,
Of
right?
course.
And then you get the 2 seed versus the 7. Then it's a danger zone for OKC to get eliminated.
They're gonna lose in the first round. Ain't no,
To
it's
Phoenix,
over.
right?
They're
That's what
gonna
I'm
lose in
saying.
the first.
Yeah. So if
They'll lose to Phoenix
if everything would
5
stay
or
like
6.
this, right? Say everything stays like this, right? 7 and 8. You get a 7 and 8 play in Phoenix gets the 7 seed, and then you get OKC in the first round again. Because again, clearly, unless one of the top teams falter and Phoenix rises, that's what would really have to happen. Like Dallas,
Everybody, and
yeah.
everybody's gonna start aiming for that. If it stays this way, people are gonna aim for that. Those veteran teams are gonna aim to get OKC first. I don't
But
care.
that's what happened to the
Trae is
Lakers.
great.
Yeah,
He's
that's
my
exactly what happened to the
MVP,
Lakers
bro.
last year too, right? Remember the Lakers aimed to get the 7th seed, and they ended up going to the
because you
conference
get Memphis.
championship.
Like you get Memphis, so you can take
Exactly.
advantage of Memphis.
Exactly. So
You
then,
don't want Denver
yeah,
in the
right. So then
first
again, if you think about it though, right, Zig, if you look at it, right, if you're Phoenix, you're like, okay, I can kind of cruise within the 7 8. I don't need to force myself into try to guarantee a playoff spot. I could just win a play-in and then go face one of the top teams and possibly knock out Minnesota
Yeah,
or
ain't nobody
OKC.
trying to see Phoenix. I don't care. If a healthy Phoenix, ain't nobody trying to see healthy Phoenix, bro. So if they get in on some play-in bottom 7 through 8, that's a scary, scary, scary
Upset
situation.
alert,
Like I
baby.
said, the Lakers did that last year, and we didn't think it worked. They got them to the Western Conference Finals. They played the
They ain't
Lakers
do it on
ain't
purpose,
nothing this
Carl.
year.
We don't know that.
We
Stop
don't
being
know
a
what,
chatty
but that's what we said. It's not a chatty patty. We did say that though. The Lakers
We
win the
don't know that.
play-in. We don't know that. But again, you're looking at the standings. You're like, do I like my chances with a play-in with a top team that looking at it right now, a team that's bad, or do I still try to play my game so I can try to get in a guaranteed playoff spot?
It's a 1-game elimination. So nobody wants to deal with a 1-game elimination.
Yeah.
Nothing is guaranteed. You may say that in theory, like, oh, I know I can beat the 7th seed, and so I'll just get the 7th. You don't know that though. You could say that, but you don't know. Anybody can have a hot night. Like the 72 Bulls lost 10 games. So that means 10 teams on, and 2 of them was against Charlotte. So, which was one of the worst teams in the league. So at that time in 96. So anything can happen. You don't know. So
Well,
no.
let me ask this
If
to
it's
kind of
me,
close
if
up
I'm
this part.
Phoenix, I'm trying to get a spot. Like
OKC. So now OKC they're kind of looking young. Does that take away SGA's MVP
Nope.
consideration?
No.
Stop.
Okay. All right. I'm just asking. Fair point. 2 things here. Congratulations to Dwayne Wade. He's getting a statue outside of Miami. I guess the greatest Heat of all time, right? Congratulations. What's so funny?
No, I meant that. I meant that, Zig.
Mike ain't look like he meant it.
I meant
Oh,
it,
okay.
Zig. No, I meant it. Now that's well deserved, man. I meant
Listen,
it.
I guess greatest Heat of all time, right?
Still ain't better than AI, but not. We all know that. We know that he's not better than AI. You know what? This is not the time for that. Yes, he is the greatest Heat of all time, without question.
You know what's crazy? I had to think about that for a sec. Maybe I was like, nah, he is. Because I was like, who else would you put over? Would you put Zoe over him? Would you put,
You can't put nobody over Dwayne Wade, man. Nobody. Dwayne Wade, 3 championships, multiple.
And then I saw Gilbert Arenas' comment today to kind of close out, right? He said,
hold on, wait, sorry. See, don't close. I got one question, but go ahead.
No, you want to make your question before my last
well, my question is totally unrelated to what you're talking about. So finish. Go ahead, finish.
No, my other topic was I saw Gilbert Arenas make a comment that Dwight Howard was the greatest Magic of all time.
I saw that.
Yeah. You agree, Mike?
There's an argument to be made. I'm not gonna lie to you. That it's not
really,
bro, when he talks, he don't say far-fetched stuff when you really sit down and think about it.
So you would go take that argument over Shaq?
I gotta do the research.
I
think his argument is based off longevity. Because I think he played longer.
Well, he's got more.
Well, if it's longevity, then that's easy.
It's by far Dwight. If you talk about just accomplishments as an Orlando Magic, then it is Dwight by far.
Shaq won Rookie of the Year. Shaq led him to a finals.
So
How many
did Dwight win Rookie
how
of the
many all
Year?
defensive nods did Shaq get?
No, Dwight didn't win Rookie of the Year. No, he didn't win Rookie of the Year.
Dwight got four.
Emeka won, right?
Emeka Okafor won his year.
Dwight got 4 defensive player. Dwight's arguably one of the top 5 greatest defenders ever.
Yeah, so
And that alone shoots him over Shaq as the greatest Orlando Magic.
He did that as an Orlando Magic.
Okay.
Shaq's greatness comes from being a Laker.
A Laker.
It doesn't come from being. Yeah, they got to the finals. Dwight led them to the finals. Dwight led them to the finals over LeBron. Shaq led them to the finals the year that Jordan just came back.
Yeah.
He just came back.
Yeah.
And then the next year, Jordan swept them. So
they got swept that year? Did they really get swept?
They got swept the very next year.
They did.
In 96?
Because MJ was probably mad. He probably was like, oh, word, so y'all going to beat us and celebrate? All right, cool, we're going to sweep y'all. He swept them the next year in the first round. So all of Dwight's accomplishment, Dwight, it just doesn't sound like it because Shaq made the Orlando Magic. He gave them the prestige. But Dwight's the better player on the franchise.
On the franchise. Okay, Zig, what was your last point, sir?
So I know y'all probably, if you didn't see it, DeMarcus Cousins was talking about Trae Young being an individual to ask for a trade. Now, at first, I thought it was a little asinine. I thought it was crazy, but then when I looked, DeMarcus Cousins played like 5 or 6 seasons in Sacramento, wasted away. Trae Young has been there now. I think his 6th season, he's been to the playoffs, I think, like 3 times. They're now talking about breaking up that core of DeJounte Murray. Should Trae Young ask for a trade?
He will, because if not, he'll fall into that Kevin Garnett and Kevin Love spell.
Well, remember the premise. I have to answer your question with an underlying premise, Zig. The underlying premise is it's the franchise's fault why you're not going far. If you accept that premise, like DeMarcus Cousins and most pro player people accept, then of course he will. But what if the premise, like Joel Embiid, is not that the franchise is failing, but that you are? What good is asking for a trade if you're the problem? You'll just be the problem somewhere else. They were saying that he is the problem. Yeah, they were saying Trae is the problem. Like they've been saying that for 2 years. The rumors have been out. Now you could say people are doing that on purpose, and that happens in the league. But that's going to be what decides the answer to that question. What is the premise? Is it his fault or is it the organization's fault?
It looked like it's the organization because they made it to the, I guess that one year, and no disrespect to the Bucks, that year 2021, everyone was coming off an injury. It was a weird year in the league, right? And they made it to the conference championship, right? That year.
That was the year. That was the year everybody was crowning him a superstar.
Yeah, that year, right?
He included, or I said he was a star. I don't know if I said he was a superstar.
But then again, considering those years after that, right? What did the Hawks do to put around them to keep them there?
Oh, they kept doing stuff. Remember, and now I gotta ask a question underneath your question you just asked, Carl. By what did they do? What do you mean by that? Did they make moves? And again, it goes back to the same question. Did the moves they make help? Or did the moves they make, or did he hurt the moves they make? Remember, the impact matters. So we can make, so in other words, we always use the making a meal analogy. If I give you the right ingredients and you don't cook the meal because you don't know how to cook, that's not my fault as the person that purchased the ingredients. That's your fault. Now, if I give you bad ingredients and you're a great cook, well, then it's on me. So the question for Trae Young and other superstars like Anthony Davis, it was not the New Orleans Pelicans that was the problem. Was it you who couldn't actually lead? You were not the right cook. We need a better cook. So now we ask an even larger question. What if the Hawks say we want to get rid of you?
That's some interesting question. But with Anthony Davis, it's funny because he gets traded and they win a championship. So it's like, okay, like he was the missing piece that the Lakers needed.
Oh, he get traded and go to LeBron. Who couldn't do that? Who couldn't do that?
But yeah, he
was traded, go play with LeBron.
So are you saying Trade's not a 1, but he could be a better 2, or he's just not it at all?
We just talked about the guy earlier. Paul George said, I'm going to demand a trade. How's his career look since? number two. How's his career? He got traded and he's been a number two ever since. And that's the best he's looked as a number two. Sometimes
some players it's not best for them to be number one. Yeah. And you're saying the same thing for Anthony Davis too.
Who isn't saying that, Carl? Isn't it obvious? LeBron's been trying to give him the reins to the team. He can't take it because that's not in his makeup. That's why he wanted to go play with LeBron. Have another superstar. You can be the number two. Your job is just to score, sometimes rebound, but you don't have to lead the franchise. That's LeBron's job. Paul George, same way. It's a lot of work to lead a franchise. This is why, again, not
Same
to
thing.
just.
Would you put Kyrie in that category too?
Isn't it obvious? None of these people have led anybody anywhere. Carl, was thinking about it. There's only like really 3 or 4 like franchise superstar guys, like 3 or 4. Most
in the league
guys
right now, you're saying?
Right now, there's like 3 or 4.
Hold on. Let me see if we all have the same 4. I'm gonna write my 4 down.
There's like 3 or 4, maybe 5. That franchise guys that I can say superstars. You're gonna get me to the finals, and I got a good chance to win the championship. There's only like 3 or 4 of those guys. Everybody else is really, really good stars, and some even superstars.
I got 4, and I got one person outside looking in, which is a big question mark. LeBron, Steph.
LeBron still?
He's still in the league.
Wow.
He's still in the league.
Yeah, LeBron, Steph, Giannis, and Kawhi. And I got KD on the outside looking in.
I would add Joker.
And
so
you would cross somebody off my list. You could cross them. So there's more guys, or you're gonna cross someone off my list?
I wasn't considering Kawhi when I thought about it earlier because I look at his career a little. His career is a little. I'm sorry, Zig. It's a little.
But the fact that you said they could lead you to a champion, he led the Raptors to one. So that's the reason.
But remember, I think if we add the nuance, I don't know that DeMar DeRozan wouldn't have done that without LeBron in the East. I don't know that.
I don't think so. I'm going to go into that.
We don't think so, but we know DeMar DeRozan couldn't do it because he couldn't beat LeBron. I don't know that Kawhi Leonard could beat LeBron. I don't know that.
So LeBron, Steph, Giannis,
and Joker.
Wow, I didn't have any of those dudes.
Who'd you have?
I'm just talking about in terms of the pedigree. I see what you were doing. Zig. You're like, who can do it right now?
Right
yeah,
now.
that was
I'm
my
talking about in terms
process.
of the accomplishment. Okay, so Zig, who did you have?
Well, in my head, off the top, I was going Steph, Joker, Giannis. I threw Joel Embiid in there, and I was going with Kevin Durant. But that's why I was saying I'm thinking right now. I wasn't thinking over the time of their careers.
Oh, okay.
So what you're saying there, it makes sense.
Yeah, so you're saying, but
if we remove LeBron, because I don't think LeBron's going to lead a team to a championship either. If we remove LeBron, I think Steph still can. Giannis can. Joker can. Embiid, we'll see this year.
Tom, so you really think they don't surround LeBron with players he can't?
No.
Dang.
Somebody has to be the number one. You can tell the impact's not.
So he can't be the number one no more. You don't think he can be on the championship?
His impact's not the same. No.
Nah, Anthony Davis, and since the bubble, we've been saying it that Anthony Davis, to me, I think Anthony Davis should have got the MVP. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what Anthony nor Eddie say. But remember, there used to be that conversation of, who's better, Giannis, Anthony Davis. That ain't a conversation no more.
Disappeared.
So that right there settled it.
Giannis. Oh yeah, Giannis hands down takes that over. But yeah, I guess Mike, to that question, it is like those players that we kind of thought that could be the number ones or the superstars are kind of looking like they're like Trae's in that star category.
That's what I'm saying. As I thought about it earlier, that is a special group. And when we think about championships, and this is why there's so much parity, is because when we really look at championships, if we remove the Heatles and remove the KD Warriors, everybody else wins championships with one superstar and a bunch of star role players. Everybody. Nobody else wins with 2 superstars. So you really only need one of that guy. And there's a reason the Lakers won all the championships and the Spurs won all the championships in 2000s because they were the only teams that had that one elite guy. Now, Kobe became that later, but those Shaq, Kobe Lakers, Shaq was the one guy that you knew if I got him, I'm going to the finals. Tim Duncan, that guy, you knew if I got him, I'm going to the finals. Kobe became that guy where you knew if I got him, we go into the finals.
Yeah.
LeBron, if I got him, we go into the finals. It's only a small group of people that's like that. Everybody is not like that. And we got to start reassessing how we view these players, because when it comes to championships, that's a small group.
And you said you put KD in that. We get KD, we're going to the finals.
No, I don't put KD in that.
Okay. All right. I didn't put him in there either.
No, you don't have any evidence that he's that.
Even with the Warriors who won the two?
You mean even with Stephen Curry?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I'm just so Giannis is in that category. Yeah, Giannis.
We saw it happen. We saw it.
Yeah.
We saw Joker do it. We saw it happen.
Joker
we never
it,
seen KD do that. Sorry, never seen it.
So I guess Kawhi is in it then. We seen Kawhi do it.
Once again, I will give, because Zig is my man.
Kawhi.
I'm gonna give him credit.
Kawhi.
I'm gonna give Zig
Kawhi
credit.
do it.
No,
I
told you.
do it.
There's nuance in everything. But Zig, my man. So I'm gonna say yes. But I'm questioning the 2019 championship a little bit, because I don't know what DeMar DeRozan wouldn't have done. But again, according to my standards,
there's a lot of questions in that 2019. There's a lot of questions in that 2019, but we saw
him do it.
We saw him do it.
If we saw him do it, I'm going to give the man the credit.
Yeah, what you said is true. So you're saying there's only a certain amount of superstars that you know will be a number one that could lead you to a championship without really having a two.
Look at everyone.
Yeah, LeBron, Steph, Shaq, Kobe,
Tim Duncan,
Kawhi, KD. I guess not, right? Because he had a second one next to him.
You can maybe add in Dirk. You can add in Dirk.
Dirk, yeah.
Oh, we saw him do it.
But Dirk, I don't even think he had another All-Star with him when he did it.
No,
yeah, Dirk, yeah.
We saw him do it. So that's what I'm saying. You look at you just went through like 23 years and you can only name 6 or 7 guys.
Yeah, because all the other championships, my Celtics didn't do it. They had 3. The Pistons definitely no, because it was a collective effort.
Those are aberrations. The real, it takes one superstar and then all the good pieces around to really solidify yourself. Other than that, you ain't gonna
Wade there because of the 06 or no?
No. You mean Dwayne Wade that had Shaq?
Yeah, I don't think he gets the benefit. He had Shaq, then you got Chris Bosh and LeBron right after.
Yeah, no, you had Shaq, brother. When you didn't
I
have
wasn't
Shaq
talking
or
about
LeBron.
I'm not talking about the ones with Bron.
But you had Shaq.
And you had the referees too, so let's stop
that too.
But let me say this though, Bron only gets, but Bron doesn't get his nod for the Heatles run. He gets it for the Cleveland one, right?
That's the point. Is that we seen him do? We know that, and plus he went to the finals before D Wade. He went to the finals at 23 years old. Or 25.
No, he didn't go before D Wade. I mean, you saying by himself?
No, he went to the finals by himself. He didn't need D Wade to go to the finals. Right, he just needed D Wade to win.
So you're not going to qualify him as being the one superstar on the Heatles run, but the Cavs and the Cavs run, you're going to say he can do it.
Yeah, the Cavs run, he's the only superstar. Let's look at it now.
Yeah.
Kevin Love a superstar? Nope. Kyrie a superstar? Talent, but not player? Nope. It was LeBron.
Right, okay. But he, like you said, he doesn't get it for the Heatles run because he had those other
No, we don't count that one. And we don't count the KD Warriors. So that means KD don't got no chips. Steph got 2. Sorry.
But KD is still a super. You're not qualifying KD as a superstar, though. That's what you're saying?
No, he's a superstar. He's just not
a superstar that would lead you to be a number one on a championship team.
There's only what did we say? There's only 4. In the 23 years we all been watching basketball, it's only like 6 guys.
I'm just trying to get your statement right. There's only a handful of guys that could be a superstar to lead you to a championship.
There's only a handful that I can say, you know what? I got a great chance. If we got the right pieces around us, I have a great chance to win the championship. Look at what we're saying about Embiid. We're saying he needs more pieces. When all of us acknowledge he got some really good pieces.
He had pieces, bro. He had Jimmy Butler, bro. He had James Harden, bro.
But see, that one right there, I'm going to put that definitely on Embiid, but as well as management, because they were supposed to get this guy back and they chose Tobias Harris. But Embiid faltered in that as well. That's a two-folded.
He folded in that series against Toronto, or was it just Kawhi's lucky bounce that got them?
Yeah, he folded.
Nah,
Who they got the guard? Valanciunas? Average 40.
Yeah.
And then you folded against the Hawks. Who they got the guard?
They've had help, bro. They've had help. They've had a lot of help. Philly has had a lot of players around.
They
them.
lost James Harden and got better.
Come on now. We can't give nobody no more excuses. You can lose an all-star and get better.
Yeah. All right, guys. I thought we were going to have one thing to talk about today. We had a shitload of stuff to talk about. So
Nah, you need to stop coming in with that mentality because you.
No, I was literally looking for
bro.
I was literally looking at topics and I was like, yo, what's trending?
Negative.
It's gonna
I wasn't
flow.
coming
Like,
in here negative. I was looking at. I always have
negative, man. You heard what my man Zig told you. Stop coming in with that mentality, man.
I'm not, bro. I literally look at my trending topics. I'm like, all right, this is what we're gonna talk about. And today it was the trade.
Zig, let me help you out. What he's saying is he didn't have any chatty patty mess that he wanted to talk about today. So he thought it was going to be nothing to talk about. Stop thinking like that. My man
That's
just told
true.
you. Stop thinking like that.
That's not true.
You steered a ship, Carl, so stop coming in here like that. Man.
That's not
true.
Here
with joy, my man.
That's not true. I always come in here with joy to talk basketball with
you. You're looking for gossip and chatty patty.
Never.
So now when you ain't done there, there's nothing to talk about. Stop
that's not true. That doesn't always sell, bro. That doesn't always sell.
You're looking for some mess, man. Stop.
No.
Brothers having pure basketball talk. That ain't good enough.
It is. That always is good enough.
Zig told you, stop thinking like that, man. We're not accepting this no more. You the leader,
so
man.
No more. You know what? No more chatty patty content. You want me to produce good?
He didn't say you'd have to do no more chatty.
I ain't say no more. It's just go ahead, Zig.
That's what we're saying. He didn't say no more chatty patty content. He's just saying that's what you thought we was gonna be only talking about. When organically, if you know you're gonna have us, we're gonna flow whichever way.
No, but I will say though, Mike, I'm taking your thing to shit. Now it really got me thinking about this. Like one superstar played a little. That I think that's great that you said that because I'm thinking to myself like, is there really any other player that you would pick to be your franchise player to lead you to a championship? KD was supposed to be that guy in OKC, and he never did.
That's what everybody's looking for when they say franchise player. Nobody's just looking for a guy that could get you to the playoffs. Can I win a championship? That's what I'm looking for. If this person can't lead me to a championship, what good is it to just keep making the playoffs and losing in the second round? Nobody wants to be that. Remember, the rules of the NBA, really great or terrible. You can't be in between, man.
You can, but there's just like Embiid.
Yeah, I know. As a Pacer fan, that's what we live in. Perpetual in between. No, I have a superstar. I want to win a championship. No.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? The only player that I'm looking at right now that's kind of like he should have did it already was Embiid. At least the finals. Like I don't know what the excuse is.
Giannis did, Joker did. He the only one left.
And the crazy thing is, people are gonna look at him this year, and it's gonna be one of the tougher years for him. Whether it's in the East, or it's gonna be in the East, and if by some miracle you get out the East, the West ain't no easy feat neither. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, he joked. Like I said, Embiid is always that guy that you're like, he's the process, and he was supposed to get you there, and he had his chances, and they just never materialized to get him. Like again, he thought it would.
In terms of the bigs of this era, or the great players, there's Embiid, Joker, and Giannis. In the other era that just passed, Melo, LeBron, and D Wade. He looked like Melo.
So would you say? So I guess would you put him in that Patrick Ewing that just never got over it?
I wouldn't.
No.
Joel Embiid is way more dominant than Patrick Ewing as an NBA player.
Yeah. But Patrick Ewing took a team to the finals.
Because he has the MVP, right? Patrick Ewing never got an MVP.
But Patrick Ewing took a team to the finals, though. During that era.
And he also went there twice, too. I mean, I guess you wouldn't count the 99.
No, I don't count
that last one. We're not counting that.
Okay, no, we're not counting that. That's a lockout year, and it was Allen Houston's team, so we're not counting.
94, he did, and Embiid can't seem to get it there.
Anybody that went to the finals in the East in the 90s, it's an asterisk because Jordan wasn't playing. So we just gonna keep it real. We're not gonna lie. But, sorry, Zig, but we all know it. So let's just.
I'm not giving you no damn asterisk.
Because that's disrespectful to you. Said anybody who went to the finals with.
Hey man,
call it what you want.
Facts. We're not taking that rhetoric.
Wait, say that one more time. What'd you say? You said
anybody that made it to the finals from the East or won the championship in the 90s, it gets an asterisk because you did it when Jordan wasn't playing. And take it how you want it. That's a fact. We all know what it is.
That's how, bro.
They won 3 in a row
and send it to Womack.
Bro, they won 3 in a row.
But then
he retired.
Bro, but then what?
Then won 3 in a row. Sorry.
But then what are we saying about Dream though? Like Dream was
the same thing we've been saying for 20 years. Jordan wasn't playing. We all been saying that, so it's not new. We've been saying that. Everybody's been saying we don't know if he would have won the championship if the Bulls were the Bulls. We don't know that. So everybody gets an asterisk. Sorry, you win 6 out of 8, 3-2-3-peats, then yes, you dominated the decade. So we don't know. You get an asterisk. Sorry, Knicks fans.
All right. So, like I said, to Mike's question, I guess would we say Embiid and KD kind of failed to live up to what you expected as far as that franchise player to lead your team to a championship, right? Anybody else fail to that? We putting Tatum in that yet? He's going on like his 8th year. I think he's on the 7th year.
He got one. I think this is the year to see.
Yeah.
I think this is the year to see.
So Embiid is definitely in there, right? You said?
Yeah.
KD, anybody else?
Russ.
Harden?
Do we even have to ask Harden? Of course.
Russ goes in there too?
Yeah. No. You know what? No.
So Russ was never the franchise player. He was never going to lead.
He was. You know what?
He was the 2. Yeah. Russ is a question mark though. Because Russ, I don't think we never thought Russ was going to be the 1 to lead. Or did we?
Because KD left him. So I don't know, Zig, what you think?
I am not. I'm sorry. I'm putting Russ in that boat as well. And y'all know I love Russ.
Russ was really the number 1 to lead your team to be this franchise player to lead your team to a championship. Because he was always 2 to KD, and KD didn't do it. And we knew.
But when he was one with PG and Melo, and look what happened.
Zig, right? That's
he goes in. Okay.
That's. I mean, there you go.
So Embiid, KD, Harden, Russ. Nobody else that you thought was a franchise player to lead your championship and didn't do it.
Melo. Dame. That's 2. Melo and Dame.
Melo in Denver or Melo in New York or both?
Both. Bro, man,
oh, y'all, I love y'all, yo. You said Dame. That was always if they didn't give him the right. I don't know. Dame is
no. See, we can't do that.
Oh man, Dame did they give Dame the right pieces though?
Yes,
maybe I'm making excuses.
The other team that you got to beat has 2 guards. Your team has 2 guards. Your 2 guards
they
be
made
better
a
than their
finals.
2 guards.
They made a conference finals. Yeah, Dame. Anybody else? Yeah, he didn't lead them, so he left. Yeah, anybody else?
Right now, I mean, all of
everybody's.
I'm close. Like I said, I'm close to putting Tatum because my man has made a finals, conference,
Eastern Conference.
No, because you would be penalizing him without understanding the nuance that he came into the league and ascended that fast. So it would be like how people penalize
he came into
LeBron.
The other thing too is he came into a situation where the Celtics were doing great. Like he didn't come from the bottom up like these other players.
Nah, he came in on some Aaron Rodgers type situation.
He came in like
right in.
Yeah. Like his first year, they went to the conference final. They were like minutes away from making the finals, and he's
but that was because of him though. It was
because he dunked on LeBron, right?
Yeah,
that's the game. Yeah, and
it's because of him. Another example of Joel Embiid fizzling out. Jason Tatum was 21 at the time when he saw them in the second round and cooked them.
Yeah, we beat them in 5 that year. We always beat them though. We always beat Philly. Yeah, we always. So Melo, Embiid, KD, Harden, Russ, Dame.
Yeah, I think that's it. Nobody else was really.
Well, we said AD though. AD, yeah, right. AD was supposed to be a franchise player, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, they said he was a generational talent. All this other nonsense.
AD.
That's what they said, Zig. You know it. That's what they said. They said that. We all believed him.
They did. It wasn't true. He was the number 1 overall pick. He was.
They said he was a generational talent. He's a top 75 player. No one knows why. They said that. We don't know why.
They did. Anybody else? That's it. If you guys think of anybody else, let me know. But I think that's it so far.
Right now, that might be it. Probably have to do a little digging, but those are the main.
Those are the main ones.
I got a little gripe with KD, but I guess I'll save that for next time.
Why?
I feel like every situation he's been in, he's been screwed over somehow, some way due to injury outside of them championship runs and that one run with.
He wasn't screwed in OKC though. He wasn't screwed in that year.
Years. You know what? You're right. He folded against Golden State.
But they were screwed the years before they folded. Because remember, one year Russ tore his meniscus because of Patrick Beverley. The year after that, KD got hurt in the playoffs. The year after that, I think it was him and Serge got hurt in the Western Conference Finals. So they were being plagued with injury.
I'm not bugging, right? Because I'm like, yo,
No,
every
they were
year
plagued with
was like-
injury.
You're talking about the years after the finals, right? So they made the finals
After
in
the
12. We're
finals,
talking about
13,
14,
Russ
13,
got hurt.
14, KD won his MVP that year.
14, KD got hurt. 15.
He won MVP that year. He couldn't have gotten hurt that much.
No, in the playoffs.
Okay.
I think KD got hurt in the playoffs. No, 14, Serge got hurt in the Western Conference Finals. So they kept getting hurt because they played the Spurs. And Serge got, so every year one of them was hurt. So before they faced the Warriors and the lost the 3-1 lead. So Zig is right to the point where they was getting hurt. Right?
But like now to flip it, y'all right. When you had that 3-1 lead and you falter and go down 4-3, I totally forgot about that. Your ass got to go in.
That negates all of the excuses of people was hurt. Nope.
Well, let me say this to end. Was Kyrie ever
3-1.
considered the franchise player?
Who?
Yeah.
So
when he
goes
came
in
to
there.
y'all.
Yeah, so he goes in
That's
there.
why y'all
Kyrie.
had him. Y'all had him because y'all said he was gonna be, y'all chose him over IT because you said he could be the next guy. And the Nets knew he wasn't. But y'all did, and you saw
So Kyrie goes in there too.
Cleveland did too, but I won't hold Cleveland to him. He didn't get a chance. LeBron came. So he didn't get a chance to prove that.
But you're putting him in because of the Boston years.
Yeah, you got to. He didn't do anything.
Yeah,
And
so Kyrie goes.
The only way somebody probably wouldn't is because he wasn't there long enough. So it could be the same Cleveland excuse of, well, Cleveland, we don't know what he would have done because he was only there 2 years before LeBron came. So we don't know. But the Nets, your Celtics, it looked like he wasn't going to be there.
So Melo, for this, like, I guess, last few eras, Melo, Embiid, KD, Harden, Russ, Dame, AD, and Kyrie go in that category of players not to. And then the other years, we know who those players are. We don't even need to.
Yeah. Ray Allen. Who else? T-Mac. All right, chill. We ain't gonna do that.
Reggie.
I'm not all of a sudden. Chill.
I said what?
Who?
I said what? I said Reggie.
Did we go to the final? I'm just. We're
not talking about going to the finals. You said win the championship.
I'm just saying. Am I mistaken? I'm asking questions.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't
do that. We're not gonna move the goalpost now. We're not gonna move the goalpost now.
We're not gonna move the goalpost. Am I mistaken? Is what I asked. That's all I asked. I asked the question, Carl. I'm not.
That's okay. You
Mike, your man
I'm just asking questions.
He goes in there, Mike. He goes in there, Mike. He goes into your room. I'm sorry.
Patrick goes in there.
Patrick goes in there. Chuck goes in there. They couldn't get it done.
Goes. No, not Penny. Orlando Shaq goes in there.
Orlando Shaq go in there.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley, you get in there. Karl Malone, you get in there.
Yeah.
David Robinson, you too. These are my favorites. I love David Robinson.
Because he had to be a two. He was a two.
When Tim came, that's when that was over.
That's why he became a two, because Tim Duncan came. He was a one. You get in there too, buddy.
But you can make the argument that Tim wouldn't get it without him either, though. I don't know.
No, I can't make that argument.
Because
yeah, okay. All right. Yeah.
There's a clear number one once Timmy got there.
Clear.
So Robinson was the number one. They never got there, and then Timmy came and he got it.
Yeah. Clear.
Okay. All right. Guys, you guys have a good night. Like, share, comment, subscribe. That was a good conversation. I'm gonna keep that in my mind. I'm gonna keep making this list of what Mike said, because it's like, damn, really got to think about that and see if anybody else thinks it. But we'll see you guys next week. Same time, right, Mike?
Yes, sir.
All right. You guys take care. Have a good night.
Yo, peace.
Fellas.